You're hyping up the bot lane right there, Phreak.
It's interesting. I mean, Zeri is the champion that they had lost on in the head-to-head back in week 8. Aphelios is up, Jinx is up. Yes, they've had slight nerfs in the recent history, but Zeri's still right now the queen of bot lane as far as Cloud9 is concerned. I tend to still see the Triforce build. The crit build is actually pretty comparable. I think there is room to move to more late game style. Nautilus, the obvious answer, point and click CC to lock her down.
Exactly. Whenever you look at Zeri, need some point and click here. An early Diana lock-in makes you think possible Yasuo combinations as well. Diana Renekton, the one to instantly hear. Summit knows that he's going to have to blind pick regardless, because red side here for 100 Thieves, they can save their counter pick for Ssumday till later. So they just lock in the combo already. Diana plus Renekton, definitely that feared AD-AP combination. Maybe also floating around the Yasuo combinations. Cloud9 as an organization, their academy team was one of the first teams to introduce the original Gragas Yasuo combinations, and Diana Yasuo is kind of the next level.
Yeah, Blaber's run that a ton of times with different mid laners. He's very comfortable in any sort of Yasuo setups. And what's interesting by taking the Renekton earlier is it allows more bans to be thrown at Ssumday for potential matchups. It does mean double counter pick now for 100 Thieves, assuming they get a top laner into a mid lane counter pick as well. But for C9, that means they get to actually pinch that champion pool a little bit.
So let's see if 100 Thieves wants to counter pick every single lane, because they can grab a top laner at the end of this one and then still grab a mid laner late as well, or make the choice to grab a blind mid and take a power pick down there right now. The Lucian ban is, of course, aimed at mid lane. We saw Fudge play it earlier. Didn't look great, but that's okay. Ahri dropped off the table as well, and Xayah comes through. Have seen her rise in priority.
And she's really good versus wombo combo comps. If the Diana is going to be paired with something which you expect it to be, Diana is a dive champion.
Woo!
Xayah is premier counter dive.
Yes.
I miss the fans.
There's so many good signs.
Yes. Oh, can't wait for the first kill to pop off.
Yeah.
But more of solo lane bans come through here, bending away. Aatrox even, as Aatrox is also a flex pick for solo lanes. Could be moved around.
It's interesting because the Renekton as well is technically a flex pick. Fudge can play that mid. I would have thought you saw the Yasuo ban. We were hyping it up. It didn't come through. So in some sense, 100 Thieves is kind of saying we probably have an answer that we're prepared for. The Ahri is something that sometimes people play into it. That was taken away already. So I wonder what 100 Thieves kind of has in their back pocket, or if Cloud9 is going to pivot their mid lane.
And as always, 100 Thieves, they're happy to have Ssumday go the tank route. And I actually like doing that, especially in game number 1 of the series. For a best of series, gives you those layers that you can correct with later. Quickly answering with some split push possibilities though. If you see the Ornn early here, the Ryze from mid lane for Fudge. We'll see how much he can get some roams off.
Renata Glasc locked in, and Shannon in the bot lane can definitely scrap really well again. Zeri likes to fight, and you really want someone aggressive who dives in. You take the first death, you revive anyway, nothing comes through. And that's exactly what Diana kind of wants, so I think she suits well in supporting the jungle here. Blaber with an AD top laner and doing damage himself. Viktor gonna come through, the solid scaling mid for Abbeddage.
This is exactly what I kind of expected 100 Thieves to go into game 1 with. A very standard front-to-back team fight, multiple forms of engage, multiple forms of frontline, but plenty of damage still with the Viktor and the Xayah. And this is kind of throwing down the gauntlet on Cloud9. They think they can neutralize Summit and then become a better team fighting team in the 5v5s.
Exactly, and this is why it's so fun to do best of 5 series here. You get those iterations, and game number 1 here, a little bit of testing. Reaper, very well known for this.
Well, I love the sound of play. I love the sound of an audience in attendance, and Cloud9 versus 100 Thieves have themselves a best of 5. 2 absolutely stellar team, the last 2 defending champions of the LCS. A new budding rivalry and 2 excellent rosters coming together. Renekton, Ornn in the top lane. Bot lane has been such a big deal for these teams so far. FBI and Huhi. It had been a rough go at the beginning of the split, but they've come to peak at about the right time. A really a best of 5 to determine who's gonna make the run.
Level 1, level 1.
Oh, okay. That probably was still gonna be a lot of damage. Blaber should walk out. Anchors up soon. Flash into the road. He's not in flash range over the wall. And it's gonna be enough. First blood and a wasted flash.
And it's on Abbeddage. The Viktor in mid lane. Accelerated scaling here for the Thieves. This also helps out getting your Hex Core upgrade quicker. Every takedown for Viktor means more.
That is the crucial level 1. When you have Nautilus, you charge down mid lane, you absolutely blitz it, and if no one's mid, you can spill over into a side brush unseen. And this is the critical mistake. No one was watching mid. You still have to risk a flash, and because they don't do that, Blaber gets engaged on, and it's not even a clean execution.
Yeah, Huhi there, the wall's a little bit wider than he remembers, but it doesn't matter because Closer hit that Q, and as soon as Closer hits the Q, he knows they can go all in. Flashes for it. They're getting hyped. The fans are hyped. We can already feel it. What better way to start out our first playoff series?
Oh, and Summit can't even get the ward back. So, I mean, really just a mental breaker there. Yeah, see? We got the sad V. He knows. Yeah, you can't kill my ward, man. You aren't killing me either. Tanking the top lane. Gonna get himself plenty of armor. The question is it gonna be enough? Yeah, Papa. You know, put together a good roster, right? Grabbed the best parts of Golden Guardians a couple years ago. Got Abbeddage at the summer split, and it's been off to the races. Thieves have looked good.
I also want to point out, off of that first blood money, Abba had plenty of time to back, and so he actually gets to start lane with Corrupting Potion and the Doran's Ring here. So Viktor is going to have way more pushing power control early on. More mana regeneration, more AP to shove down this wave, and that's very detrimental to a Ryze early game. Ryze wants to be able to push out the minions and be able to roam to the side lanes here, but you can see Abba taking control of that mid lane already.
Definitely a 1-3-1 comp for the side of Cloud9. Like you said, it really turns on at 6 when you get the ultimate for Ryze combined with the Diana and the Renekton ultimate that can all kind of kill even an Ornn underneath turret. But if you can never get Prio, it becomes a lot harder to make those plays.
Good scrap on the top side. Of course, you know how much kill pressure there actually is. No one's got the Ignite right now. Even if you did go spellbook on Ssumday, you have to wait till 6 minutes. So knows there's no threat, and just gonna push in the wave, keep the health bar up, and looks like no crash right now onto Ssumday.
And what you want to do whenever you get pushed like this early as a top laner is move in and get deep wards on enemy jungle, so you can do some enemy jungle tracking. Junglers always rotate up to Summit's lane, no matter what team you're on, looking for those early Summit plays, and Closer is here first.
Gonna find the knockup, Q's gonna land. The rest of it's gonna matter though. He follows through, he flash follow! Closer's in for the second.
Ssumday knocks him up in turret range to start it all off. Phreak, it was perfect setup there, and the Thieves, they do not miss. They're continuing off of their win over Cloud9 in Super Week in dramatic fashion here.
God, such a good gank by Closer. The thing about Summit that you were talking about, when he gets targeted by enemies, he actually has a -4 jungle proximity difference, meaning that there is more time spent by the enemy jungler around him because he's pushed up like this all the time, and you can find these opportunities to go in. I love this. While knocked up, snipes the Q in, then goes for a ward hop, then kick, then flash follow. Using the ward hop to bait the dash out of him allows him the Q to still follow up, so very well executed by Closer. Looking for round 2.
Gonna have Elise coming around as well. He's gonna have the knockup here, no flash to follow away as well. He's gonna guarantee the knockup into the follow, the ward hop into Q2. Again, excellent from Closer. Perfectly plays every single ability, every single cooldown, and Summit can do nothing about it.
Ssumday and Closer, the Bash brothers of top lane. They came into this game with a plan, trying to punish Summit. It worked previously.
They're gonna punish another one in the bot lane. This is gonna be a death. The revive won't matter. Winsome could be next. When's the anchor back? 4-0 already to 100 Thieves.
It's going to become a disaster for Cloud9. You're losing the top lane, losing the mid lane. Now they're losing in the bot lane as well.
100 Thieves on pace for 100 kills in this playoff series. Already 4-0, almost a 2,000 gold lead before even 5 minutes into the game.
Pretty good start. I thought we saw that one a little bit ago when Rogue got the reverse sweep over against Fnatic, where it was a kill a minute, and looks like we're keeping that one going here in NA. Well done to 100 Thieves so far. Who knew that Ornn just, beats Renekton early game?
I mean, honestly, the start of the Cloud9 kind of disintegration of Super Week was at the hands of 100 Thieves, and it was that Malphite pick. Ssumday being willing to pick tanks into Summit, who is a lane-dominant, aggressive player, and they came into this game with a strong plan. 3 bans at Summit, and then picking up the Ornn tank into the Renekton here. He's going to outscale. He's going to hand out items to the rest of the team. It's not the only lane in the game, but it certainly is the area that Closer is focusing on so far, and that 100 Thieves are getting the biggest rewards out of.
Yeah, and you were talking about on the dive earlier this week about how this entire top side for both teams could be your entire MVP ballot with how well Closer and Ssumday and Summit and Blaber have all played. But 100 Thieves feel like they have this extra wrinkle of an incredible bot lane that they can sometimes lean on in the early game. And when top side's going in your favor, bot side's going in your favor, this is the scary part of a late game scaling team comp when it dominates early in every single lane.
This is also why you, in best of fives, and again, Reaper does this a lot, you open with this more standard look and see and force your opponents to make the adjustments. Guess what? Closer gank number 3.
Ornn in level 6 for both top laners. Here comes Blaber, but he's not going to be there in time. Closer level 6 as well. Kick into the follow, into a 5-0 start.
And he keeps saving his Q2. This is one of the cool things I really like. He lands his Q2 very early, but he keeps using Safeguard to close the distance so you can get more damage for the execute of Q2. And it is certainly executing Summit.
Yeah, Blaber just too slow to get up there. He is such a proactive jungler, but on Diana has trouble making plays pre-6, and 100 Thieves have exploited that little disadvantage in the matchup to get a ton of kills in the top side before they can really win a 2v2.
Exactly. You know, attacking what is a very strong combination of Renekton Diana normally and trying to dive and focus on people. But Closer is here first every single time. 3 kills for him. There is a bounty on his head. So Cloud9 fans, do not lose all hope yet. You know, game number 1 is definitely some gathering of data for the team. And you can have some shards of hope, some remnants here still, if you can pick up maybe this bounty onto Closer and you know, try and get something working back. You're gonna have to make it work real quickly though, because this one is definitely trending towards the 100 Thieves scaling.
I mean, you're definitely on the copium takes though when you're like, at least the 3 kills are on the Lee Sin with the bounty.
At least we scale with Renekton. Forehead, you know?
It's mostly, at least there's multiple games in this series.
Yeah.
You're already punting game 1, dude? Come on.
Now look, it's blue logos and hope. You know, you just gotta have faith that your team will turn it around at the end. We've seen bigger comebacks, so always possible. The yes, 100 Thieves off to a great start, obviously. Trading waves, top lane is not going to mean a whole lot. Sure, we're up a wave or 2 on the Renekton, going to be down gold, and now we get the attempt at the first Rift Herald. You can turn that into an entire tower. Getting about 1,000 gold out of that one. That'll close the gap somewhat, and looks like it's going to be uncontested. So the bot lane's moving up. They may not get there in time.
Yeah, they're coming in though. Huhi doesn't want to let this one go for free though. It might be kills on the exit. Doesn't seem like they're gonna do anything.
Yeah, and you can tell because they make the call. If you just look at the mini map, it's very clear. Having Xayah here pushing the tower, gets the turret plate. Zeri roamed halfway up. Good from Berserker there. Doesn't commit to the full roam, so he can get back for some of those minions. But 100 Thieves trade off a turret plate for the Rift Herald pickup.
It's the one advantage for Zeri too, the wall hops, a little bit of extra map mobility to do a half roam up if a fight actually breaks out. You get there first.
Flash hook, he's gonna go good, sidestep. Well played by Fudge at the right time.
In the meantime, bot line fight's going down.
That's gonna be a death. Cleanses up their ulti as well, might have the root, but I don't think there's a way out anyway, and indeed, Berserker's on the board. FBI did not respect Winsome coming down. 3 summoners burn for 1, but a kill's a kill.
Berserker picks up that shard of hope for Cloud9. They get the Rift Herald, and Fudge might get locked up here. Ultimate down for a lot of damage here from Abbeddage, and the rest of the Thieves are circling around. They can pressure that mid tower. There's no teleport on Fudge.
I think they're trying to make their way up top to protect Ssumday, who's losing a big wave. They also have the Rift Herald here. We'll see if Blaber wants to drop it. Ssumday just ulting to clear the wave, but he's gonna get stunned up during it.
Yeah, good play during Summit. Now I got the ultimate to come through as well. Good damage. Of course, he immuned it with the W at the first, and then was out of range the rest of the time. It's not going to do enough otherwise, so good timing by Ssumday.
He's just holding them here, waiting for reinforcements.
Between 2 turrets, Closer, Huhi, when's the next one? There's Abbeddage. That's going to be damaged. No ulti available, kicked into the turret, and just able to recall in time. And now Summit's going to be stunned. No, he's going to get the heal in time, but finally the Q is going to land, and Closer lands the skill shots. That'll be a death to Blaber. Gets 1 more CS, but it's 7-1. 100 Thieves are walking over this game.
You can feel Cloud9 knowing the pressure's on them. They want to make a play in the top side, but they're just too far behind to actually kill Ssumday, who stalls them out, allows 100 Thieves to collapse and find the punish.
Yeah, maybe they were walking in the first 5 minutes, and now they're running. Closer's certainly running over this game himself, picking up so many of these kills. Now stealing away Raptors as well from Blaber. Winsome trying to do a little bit here, but nothing else he can. And it's gonna start to also now explode in vision coverage. So when you have a start to a game like this that is so one-sided for 100 Thieves, not only can you stack your early dragons, but you can get deeper and deeper vision wards now that Huhi's got plenty of time to roam around with Closer. and get that foresight.
So here we'll take a look at that kill that happened in the bot lane. They set up for it. It's the roam back down for Winsome. Berserker hops that little wall, starts getting a fight going, and I just don't think FBI was aware of how quickly Winsome was getting back down into the bot lane, because there's just absolutely no way out of there. Even holds his flash, I think, is the right play there.
Yeah, he did seem on a ward. Like, if you were playing full attention, you know, in retrospect, like, okay, you could have left a second and a half earlier. That might have been enough. Obviously, again, still a good engage by Berserker. With the Moose, you can always chase down, but end of the day, FBI with an unforced error staying a bit too long, getting roamed down and out. Top lane tower to fall. It'll be not quite dead to the charge. You need another 800 gold in, or 800 damage in before it'll actually drop. So at least it'll be plate's share, but I think it's only to Diana.
Yeah,
Renekton is in range, okay.
Sometimes you can use situations like that as bait. If the enemy team really wants to get that last plate, get that turret down, you can use the bait of the extra objective there for Closer to come around, but they back off. Now they're going for it. Another knockup sets them up.
Yeah, knockup is there, a little grass damage as well, but Summit has ult, has flash, is a pretty easy way out, and indeed does so.
We'll see if we can go over the wall.
There's the ward. Hello, I am Huhi, and I'm here for the root into place. The Ignite is on already. I'm gonna front a couple of ults onto this one. Gonna easily land the Ornn horn, and Huhi gets himself on the board. 3 kills on the Nautilus. He's second place on the team.
This is how Summit plays. He always wants to try his hardest, but once things go south, he gets exploited time and time again. Already up to 5 deaths in 12 minutes. He's on pace to break his own record from week 8 with 8 deaths.
I do want to point out the minimap, though. They're fully rotating up to the top side here. 100 Thieves are sacrificing bottom side to completely switch the matchups. FBI walked his way all the way from bottom up to this top side of the turret to get away from some of this 2v1 action. And Berserker after the first kill there. The Trinity Force spike on Zeri is very scary.
Yeah.
So just trying to get over the top to farm up the extra minions.
I gotta say that was concerning, the any % lep speed run by Summit, who's at,
Oh, no.
I think, 0, 13, and 2 in his last 2 games against 100 Thieves. Like, you're getting close to that, like, ominous scoreline.
Oh, once again, that right there could have been used as bait. That turret plate that's going into the dirt to minions,
Feels bad.
It could have been picked up if you had God vision for FBI, for 100 Thieves. But he doesn't know if anyone's around, and this goes to show he is playing safe now because the team has such a big lead. He doesn't have to greed for that turret plate, even though it was possible.
Yeah, with how well things are going on the top side for 100 Thieves, you just don't want to be the reason that Cloud9 finds a foothold back in the game after that last death. So I respect that out of FBI. Right now, everyone is being carried by Closer. You are in the Closer kangaroo pouch getting popped around a little bit.
Okay.
I'll give some credit to Ssumday.
Thank you, thank you.
He's done a great job setting it all up, but the 4 kills are on Closer, so he's whose pouch you're in.
Fair enough, fair enough. Funnily enough, too, actually, Huhi's getting a lot of last hits on the Nautilus, has a bounty on his head, and Nautilus definitely has a tendency for giving up the bounties, so Cloud9 will focus on those areas. It's going to be difficult, though. As we said, the map has been flipped since 100 Thieves started the swap, with the duo swapping up to the top side of the map. They want to leave those top laners down by the bottom side while there is no dragon, and take as much as they can here off of the Cloud9 blue quadrant.
From the blue buff, the lace is gonna land it. Pretty well done. Abbeddage gets the blue steal. Out they all walk. Fudge and Blaber want to try.
Realmore.
Ooh, into the red pit. He really wants this one. He's going to have the flank. Will the root be good enough with a blast plant there? There's no way to lock him down.
Oh, no.
And Blaber can't fall his way through. Hook right in. That's going to be a death. There's no way you live through that one. Puts the ulti down. Gets the revive. Does he get one back in time? No, he's going to burn down. Already going to happen. Closer just barely walks out. And now it's going to be a 5v4. Here's Ornn. Knock up on a 2. Shelly could help, but it's not going to be aggro just yet. Summit going to find yet another death. 6 now on the board.
And 100 Thieves lose nobody in this action. I thought maybe Cloud9 could finish off the kill onto Closer, but not today. Kral Closer lives again, and 100 Thieves will pick up the Rift-Tailed number 2. See you in game 2. And looks like
calling game 2 over.
half of them are out already.
It's not that bad, guys. Come on.
It is that bad,
Or
Mark.
game 2, I meant. You don't need to.
Okay,
I mean, don't call it
okay.
game 2 over. But yeah, this game is definitely a disaster. They tried to make a play there because they had Summit roaming up first, and this is not a comp that's going to win by scaling. So as troll as this might look, this is a fight you do need to try and pick. You have the number advantage. Summit is here way ahead of Ssumday. It's just that blast cone stopped Blaber from getting the pull in on Abbeddage. That's where they wanted to focus down. Closer goes in there, acts as a frontliner while they wait for Ssumday to show up. They're able to actually kite this one out. Finally, Ssumday allows them to turn and start picking up some more kills.
The margins were close, right? If it wasn't so far ahead, like that would have been the kill, the revive on Blaber, the non-death, and that fight looks so much better if there's like 500 gold difference. Like that fight's actually a W for C9.
Meanwhile, Ssumday waiting in the brush down there. He is going to be scaling massively now. Closer's at it again.
Probably a death. Nice ward have to follow up, and that's going to be a kick into a teammate. Does not quite hit Berserker yet, but you're still going to get it. The revive means absolutely nothing. They chase him down. They don't need to. I think Berserker, hey, good setup. Gets the wall hop, anchored in place, but that's the mechanics you need. Good play. Ultimately going to mean nothing. He's safe.
Yep, just burning the ult to make sure that Blaber and Berserker don't find a re-engage onto Huhi. Still a nice play by Closer. Absolutely popping off this game. Fudge is going to be okay. And Closer, this is such a huge game for him. I don't think he's played in front of a crowd in playoffs so far for the LCS. I don't think that's actually been the case. He hadn't had an opportunity to. And to have a mental block against Blaber, there's that famous clip of him freaking out against Blaber in this game to absolutely run over it is such a huge moment for Closer.
Looking really good right now. He's looking at back-to-back LCS titles. Maybe the newest dynasty in the league as Blaber wants in, looks for who he puts the ult. That should be a kill, and indeed, 600 gold to Blaber, 150 Berserker. That is a 750 gold swing. Now it's going to be answered by the second Dragon of the game to 100 Thieves. It's going to be a slow stack, but at least you got, you know, a fifth of the gold lead back.
Yeah, it's a valuable one. That's why we always point out these bounties. The bounties on the champions for kills, as well as the bounties on the objectives that we kind of expect to pop up at some point in this game.
Turn on soon, right?
With how 100 Thieves have been running over it, stacking up the dragons as well. And again, that's why we also caution against Nautilus, definitely the type of champion that has a tendency to give up those bounties. Very all-in melee there, and good job from Blaber to actually punish and get something back for Cloud9.
Something small back, because soon enough, Ssumday's going to hit those levels and start turning on his Ornn items as well. And that's when the scaling problem that we're talking about Cloud9 getting into really turns online. That combined with when they get a little closer to Soul Point, it was a bit of a slow dragon stacking game with how much of a priority 100 Thieves put on the top lane. So in some sense, Cloud9 isn't forced to 5v5 around dragons for at least another like 6 minutes at least. But that's still scary because Baron's coming up in 3. Or 2, I can do math.
Sure. I mean, if you round up, you know.
You should round up, probably.
Yeah, I mean, this is how like, people tell times, like, oh, in the third
like
minute.
8 seconds.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
I mean, if you round to the nearest 3, then it's accurate. I don't know who would do that, but, you know, Mark, it's your choice.
Well, I don't think Cloud9 would like to round this game up to the nearest 3. That's for sure. 100 Thieves will take 1 in this series, and they want to keep it at that. Ssumday on bottom side here should honestly be fine. He also has flash still. He's got flash.
Doesn't W in time to immune it. Gonna get knocked down pretty heavily. 800 health left. Finally flash under, and now here comes the re-engage. Is it enough, though? Knock up in there, but not enough damage to come through. Winsome actually already on the way, so that would not have worked out well for 100 Thieves.
Really intelligent by 100 Thieves not to get baited into trying to turn that fight. Multiple members of Cloud9 were missing, and they have pretty good vision control around mid lane, so you know they're probably around where that play's happening.
And let's return to the gameplay point for Cloud9 that we would be, you know, accelerating at this stage if the early game had gone more even, and that would be to open up the map to split push, to get that Ryze into the side lane, to get this Renekton pushing on side lanes so that they could pick 100 Thieves apart, not allow them to group up behind this Ornn Nautilus. Very, very strong engage that they have drafted. That still, you kind of have to stick to your guns as Cloud9 with your comp, and that is still one of the goals. It's just way more difficult to do since you're so underpowered.
Closer. No way you really want this one. In case there's a Q, all right. He burns the rocket bot out as well, so 2 active items down for about 30 seconds out of Cloud9. Not going to mean too much, though, as they get rid of the vision. 100 Thieves once again can own this side of the jungle, but with no blue buff doesn't mean all that much. Baron up in 30 seconds.
Yeah, the vision control is pretty insane here for 100 Thieves. There's almost nothing in the top side aside for that one ward on the Wolf Pit, which is not going to give you too much information. So I think Cloud9, despite being in the 1-3-1 comp, where you usually have better map control, they're all pushed onto their side of the map, which is terrifying to try and play a 1-3-1 comp from because you don't even get faster rotations now.
And Summit's going to have to get out of there because 100 Thieves control the Cloud9 jungle. Everybody coming down to help Ssumday finish off this turret, and the last outer defenses of Cloud9 will crumble.
The waves keep pushing in. 3-2 on turret. Some value has been gotten from Cloud9. They've fought pretty valiantly. I mean, for how many games we've seen start this bad, they've fought valiantly.
I'm just going to say that's such a good bait because both top laners who are on screen, their names start with Sum, and you held it long enough that I was expecting one of the two. Well baited.
Nah, easy one right now. All right, well, a little bit more gold earned. And Abbeddage and Fudge, you know, ultimately have just been, well, we're chilling, getting farm, we'll show up to team fights, you know, kind of doing a couple of scraps back and forth, but hasn't meant much from Abbedage's side as he's been the one engaging those. But whatever, you're scaling Viktor in mid lane, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, the fact that he is trading evenly on Fudge at least or better, chunking him out multiple times in the lane phase, keeps the Ryze pinned under his turret, and that's why you saw part of the collapse of the Cloud9 game plan was with that early kill, Abbeddage has actually done a great job controlling Fudge. Now that's in side lanes, it's a little bit harder for Viktor, not nearly as safe, but he did his duty through the first 15 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I would certainly push it even further than that and say that he has done quite well, winning pretty much all of the trades that we've seen on camera over Fudge, getting multiple gravity well stuns, ultimate constantly chunking him out, taking away any of this mobility that Ryze would want to have from mid lane to try and impact the rest of the map. And that also goes along with having a super fed Lee Sin jungle that puts more threat on you, obviously, from the Fog of War, but we're also starting to see that explosion in vision that we're talking about for 100 Thieves, well set up here in preparation for the Dragon. You see that Dragon arrival well in advance. They've got the entire red quadrant lit up.
And this is the point I was making about the slower Dragon stacking. Cloud9 are moving down. Maybe they just decide they want to fight it now, even though it's not on soul point, just because the further they fall behind in gold, the later it gets, the more Ornn items turn on, like the harder it becomes to win from here. So maybe they fight this, but with the vision control, you can see they're sacking it, wanting to get farm on side lane Ryze, let Renekton catch farm. They're trying to hold out as long as they can before they're forced to take these 5v5s.
Yeah, it's an interesting discussion to think about, right? Because I think, yeah, if the game, like, gold lead remains pretty stagnant, it actually probably gets worse for them over the next, like, 8 minutes, right? Like, a 5K gold lead at 30 actually probably feels worse than at 22 as the champions scale up. So that, on that one side, like, yeah, okay, maybe you go early. However, if you think they are mistake prone, and it's like, but we can find something in those 8 minutes by just playing really standard and finding the opening, then, okay, patience will reward you.
I think you have to be a creature of opportunity when you're in situations like this. And you have to just be ready to jump on any circumstance that will give you this unexpected advantage. That's certainly something that's very hard to do because you don't have the vision and you don't have the time, the luxury to set up for it. But that's kind of what your eyes are always on in these scenarios.
And once that neutral objective drops, you get back into this more spread out situation of the 1-3-1 that 100 Thieves find themselves in as well. And that's when, even without vision, because you are behind in tempo, you still just kind of need to force a play and try and get there first. And when the map's more spread out, it's a little bit easier to get that initial kill. And then, you know, it's kind of 50-50 from there if you can win the fight from the gold deficit.
Now, Cloud9 would love to introduce some chaos into this game so that we divert from the normal pathway that 100 Thieves have ahead of them to cleanly finish it out. Ssumday already getting the Ornn upgrade down there onto Xayah, and now we've got a river fight.
Knockup is going to Zhonya's what could have been the root, I believe. A flash backwards. No, not going to find the Berserker. A great Zhonya's and an ulti. Nothing landing for Blaber. Goes for broke and comes out penniless. Ulti coming across, going to land a knockup on a 1. Gravity Storm. Or at least the Chaos Storm is still there. Berserker low, but not dead.
And that's so much lasting damage, you can just go over to the Baron. They have so much sustain. They can easily tank this one up. This is going to be 100 Thieves. 23-44 into the game. Baron buff acquired.
100 Thieves looking good on the way to the first win of this best of 5. Picking up the Baron. Cloud9 sack it completely. They're just going to push other lanes, try and delay this Baron reset as much as they can.
And this is such a meaningful game for 100 Thieves, who had a very slow start to this split. So many people, even their own fans, starting to doubt this team as defending champions. But in this game, they are showing that Super Week was not a fluke, and they are certainly demolishing Cloud9. Here's another look at the face check and the hook from Nautilus.
Yeah, this is well played. They go in, they get this stopwatch out, then Huhi flashing away, make sure he doesn't end up rooting any of his teammates accidentally. Then the trade stopwatch for closer baits Blaber in. They're able to finish him off, and just the zone from the Ornn ultimate is enough. Huhi's having an incredible game. The level 1 charge down mid just using the Nautilus kit correctly. He was someone who was criticized in the first half of the split, not having a great time, and he is popping off so far in this game.
Using that kit correctly, hooking into the wall for the distance.
Hey, man, it's the pressure. It's the pressure of the level 1 that made them sack mid, all right?
I love it. I love it. I'm here for it. All right, Ssumday freely able to move down to bottom side, even seeing multiple Cloud9 members. It's a 4-1 split push for 100 Thieves. You can see on the minimap, Cloud9 have committed Ryze to pushing on top side because they're saying, hey, we cannot fight this 5-on-5. Try and get something back for us, Fudge. Try and get some money. But 100 Thieves will take that opportunity and they will get right inside the base.
The problem is, whereas Ryze has very little ability power, so his turret damage is actually kind of garbage. Engage to the bottom side. A quick revive not going to matter. Bye-bye to Renekton. They're going for a little bit more. Winsome going to fall as well. And it's going to be Cloud9 losing a lot of the members down here. 14-2. And Ryze slowly, meagerly was auto-attacking the top side, finally to come back and defend his base, because guess what? It's time to end the game right now. Small Wave, another one coming up there with the cannon and with the Baron buff. They could end it here. 5 versus 3, and they've still got the Ornn and Xayah ults up to close it out. The engage tools actually still there for this one. Diving forward, a bit of a root, but it's not going to do much damage. Ultimately, the Fudge cannot really get through Ssumday. Going to dive in, forces Zonia's out. Ornn comes across, does find a flash from Fudge to find that one to get through. And here comes a quick Berserker. We'll get some decent damage across, but a stop by Abbeddage means no one's going to get hit by that one. FBI flash to safety. Second turret's going to fall, and there's just no way out. A Realm Warp to try. Fudge going for everything he possibly can. Adds one to the KDA. A shutdown to Abbeddage, but a shutdown against Cloud9. A slaughter in game 1 for 100 Thieves.
And in game 1 of the playoffs, the 100 Thieves finally look like the defending champions, and Closer looks like that MVP of the finals as well. 0 deaths on Lee Sin. Camping Summit in the beginning of the day, set up by Ssumday in so many of these ganks, but absolute control from 100 Thieves. An absolute domination.
They fired on all cylinders. You're talking about Ssumday playing well, Huhi, FBI, Abbeddage. This, like you said, it's the first step for them to repeating in the title, but this is how they looked then on that run where anyone can carry at any given moment. They all do the right thing. And for Cloud9, that was as big of a dud for a first game in the playoffs that you can have, which everyone was hoping to see something a little bit more after a disastrous final week.
Yeah, true, and the fact that it was coming through topside, right? We had chat in the pregame show talking about, hey, every time FBI is ahead, they convert to the win. But the top laners, it's hit and miss, doesn't always convert. But yeah, Closer had all the kills. He ran everywhere he wanted to, and people died when he looked at them. So after a statement first win in front of the fans, 100 Thieves take the lead in this series. We're going to break down all the